All right, I'd like to call this meeting to order and welcome everyone to the City of Bremerton Parks and Recreation Commission. This is our regular monthly meeting. Today is Tuesday, July 22nd. Thank you, everyone, for being here. First up, we have our approval of our minutes from our last meeting, which was June 24th. So hopefully my fellow commissioners have had a chance to look over the minutes and I'll accept any motions if
I make a motion to approve.
All right, I will second that motion. All in favor of approving the minutes as presented, please say aye.
Aye.
All right, that will pass unanimously. Thank you. Next up, we have approval of tonight's agenda. Commissioners have had a chance to look over that. I will make a motion to approve tonight's agenda.
I second it.
All right, all in favor of approving tonight's agenda, please say aye.
Aye.
All right, and that will pass unanimously as well. Cool, moving right along. Next up, we have public comment. So this is the public's chance. If anyone would like to address the commission, now's your chance. Chris, I know we have you on the agenda, so you'll be up. But Mr. Kerber, if you would, yeah, please, if you could just identify yourself again, please.
Patrick Kerber, I was here last month.
Yeah,
and
please.
Some issues concerning the signage.
Yep.
I haven't heard back or seen any signs go up, so I'm just curious what the status is on that, whether we're gonna get a park closed from dusk to dawn sign. And that's the main issue. And then the other one is the trees, whether the big holly trees are gonna be addressed at some point. And just like to comment also that the park is this Forest Ridge Park is as bad as it's, I mean, it's worse than even last month. It's just, you know, the drug use. I'd say probably about 80% of the park use is by drug users. And at this point, I recommend just shutting the park down. Just at least to vehicle traffic. You know, until we can get a handle on the situation. It's trash every day all over the park. Drug paraphernalia. It is just becoming such a hassle. Those of us that clean it up are getting tired of it. And yes, there's places to park outside the park where people can walk in. And but shutting it down to vehicle traffic would definitely make a big difference, I think, in the illicit use that's going on in the park. That's all I have.
Thank you. Thank you, Mr. Kerber. Director, is the signage anything you can speak to right now?
Yeah, I thought we had put up a sign at the entrance and no camping, and I know that Carlos has signs on his desk that came in yesterday, which I believe are no camping signs. We've been researching and looked at a couple options for and have measured out for putting up a gate.
Mm-hmm.
And so I guess that would be something that we would want to look at is the gate just going to be there for from dusk till dawn, or do we want to consider shutting it down for the time being? I trust you, but I'd like to see too, to make sure that there's suitable on-street parking for those that want to hike in the park, but that could be an option.
Mhm.
Yeah, and want to obviously coordinate that with the mayor and council.
There is no sign up. There is
Okay,
a couple of no camping signs
Right.
by the main parking lot. And I think maybe down at the far end also at the cul-de-sac, but there is no sign at the entrance. It
okay,
says park closed dusk to dawn, like the other one said,
okay.
like Lions Park has it. You know, that would be,
Yeah, I know we were
Oh.
working with
I believe it was.
streets.
I believe it was July 9th that there's a park rule sign and a no camping sign parked at the, or placed at the entrance to Forest Ridge, just below the no outlet sign that the city installed. So that was new. We did do a little research on easements and things like that. We have done some research on some gates and options and things of that nature. Unfortunately, we have other folks that have an interest in that park that would need access in there. It could be fire, could be police, so it's not like we can just drop rocks off. There's gonna need to be a coordinated effort with
Okay.
whatever we do, so. We have been looking into those and addressing those, so please don't think that your voice was unheard.
Mr. Kerber, thank you for being here. Appreciate it. All right, we're at public comment right now. Thank you for being here. You don't need to say anything, but yeah, thank you. Thanks for being here.
As she goes to the back row. Do you want to introduce yourself?
Thank you for being here. Yeah, sure. All right, anybody in digital world, anybody out there?
I don't see
Director?
anybody.
Okay. Cool. Well, we will move right along then. Next up, we have staff reports and updates. And first up, we have Mr. Pendleton here with the NAD Restoration Project. Chris, the floor is yours, please.
Thank you. Thanks, everybody, for entertaining me today and let me provide an update
Yeah.
for the NAD Restoration Project. As you know, we've been working very hard since last year to get this going. And we've had some really great success over the course of the early spring. It's gotten to be the time of the year where volunteers for disc golf are hard to come by because everybody's in tournaments or they're playing or they're enjoying the sun. So our work party season really starts kind of at the end of August and really gets going into like October through March. But I wanted to provide some of the updates that I sent out in email. Do you all have those?
Yeah, I printed off a copy from you.
Bring up copy. Fantastic. Okay.
If anyone wants to read it.
So just kind of the highlights, what we focused on this winter since the last time I saw you was really focusing on kind of the soft restoration. So mulching, we spread probably about 100 yards of mulch over the over hole 1, 2, 1, and 4. We planted 100 natives, including red osier dogwood, 9-bark, pea rose, and crab apples in hole 2 in strategic areas that would both provide safety, aesthetics, and habitat for our native fauna. We also have done the T-pad restoration on hole 2, which I think you saw in the last time I came by, but we also did hole 4. The continuation of the project, however, we just sort of realized in those 3 or 4 holes that we've been working on that getting volunteers to be doing the mundane work of moving mulch reduce the amount of volunteers that we were getting. You know, we were saying, hey, come on, push mulch, it's super easy, and people were like, really, but then coming out for like T-pad restoration, where we were doing something that they could sink their teeth into, we got a whole different category of volunteers. So I reached out to the Washington Youth Challenge Academy, which is an academy that works with the Illinois Preserve that's obviously county jurisdiction, but they're working with them to do a lot of the mulching. And my neighbor, Jonathan Preston, is on the board, chatted a bunch. And I happened to run into the director playing disc golf out at NAD. So we've been coordinating. We actually have 3 dates to work with the Youth Challenge Academy to spread mulch and really get that relationship established so that every year, twice a year, we can have that cadets. It's a platoon of cadets. It's 50 kids and nearly 2,500 hours of work over the course of like no, excuse me, let me back that up. That was over a course of 4 weekends. So it'd be like 3 days, and I think we're looking at like about 1,000 hours of work. And still, that amount of work, volunteer work hours, can do an incredible amount of really beneficial impact for our fairways. So we're working with them to get that done. We were hoping that the Illinois Preserve might be able to share resources a little bit. Tim and I met with Vic Ulsh, who's the guy who's doing all the stewardship management out at Illahee. And that didn't happen because it's too complicated. Can't really lend you the wheelbarrows, but I am meeting with the NAB Rangers this Thursday, so a couple of days from now. And we're gonna be kind of working with both the city and our volunteers to gather the 30 wheelbarrows that we need for the platoon. So we have our plans established and we'll be doing that on the 23rd, the 29th, and the 30th of this upcoming month, August. Some other really great news is that we had our tournament in April, the Trash Panda Challenge. And we had a lot of success from that. We had $1,000 that were raised for the project, which some of that will go towards this this work with the Washington Youth Challenge Academy in August. But then the Kitsap Sun article that we had written up was read by a woman who was managing the estate of a friend who had recently passed away, and she donated to us and donated to the city for specifically for the Canada Restoration Project $4,000, which was an incredible gift for the future infrastructure projects that we have going on. So those are some of our updates and our highlights. I think I'm not missing anything in here, am I? No, I just not. But are there any questions or any comments about the work that we're doing out there? Or anything that you guys?
So this volunteer youth group, that's not the Washington Youth Academy, it's a different.
It is the Washington Youth Academy, but they're now called the
Okay.
Washington Youth Challenge Academy. I
Okay,
guess they
they
changed their name a
okay,
couple of
okay.
years ago. Yeah. And I think this could, what's kind of cool about this is this might set a precedent for other parks in the city. And we could establish a relationship with them and if all goes well. I don't think they have a relationship with any of the other stewardship groups like Forest Ridge.
They were coming to Forest Ridge Park.
Oh, they were,
Years ago.
okay.
That's right.
Very
They said
sad.
It wasn't a safe place for them. I totally understand.
Yeah. Well, hopefully maybe.
They could we could revisit. Yeah, okay.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, the biggest thing with them, which we learned from talking to Vic too, is with that large of a group, you have to be extremely organized and detailed and make sure you have enough adult volunteers to ensure that, you know, besides just, hey, fill up your wheelbarrow and take it over there. Well, take it over there isn't specific enough
And we found.
because you don't know where there might end up.
We kind of found that,
Yeah.
That said, hey, you guys just go ahead and just follow the fairway, and that wasn't even enough instruction, so when we did hole 2. I went through and taped everything off and it said like, just follow the tape, you know, and color between the lines kind of thing, and that worked out really well, so we're gonna be taking that.
Yeah. Yeah.
With the Youth Challenge Academy, we're also gonna be doing a full volunteer call too to help the cadets be directed, stay on task, stay focused and keep them moving. So I think Tim and I have a few things to work out in terms of like, you know, bathrooms for them and that kind of stuff, but I think our detail of our organization and our volunteers will work out well with that. Yeah, that's the
Chris, how many participants did you have at the
tournament. I think we sold out. Something that didn't register for his own tournament, so I had to buy discs off people, so I had my own. my own takeaways from that, but we had 50 people register for the tournament, and then we sold 4 player packs on the side for people who just wanted a player pack. And originally that was meant for the 4 of us, NAB Rangers, to buy our own player pack, but yeah, I registered too late.
Was that just a one-day tournament? Was it all week? Just one day, Chris, or all
It was-
weekend?
It was just one day.
Just one day.
Yeah, and we are looking at doing it again. We've actually been kind of contemplating maybe doing a fall counter tournament to that. And that would be like a putter challenge, which is something that used to be done at NAD, where you can only
Just on putter.
throw something that is like 1 to 3 speed, which I know doesn't really mean much for people who don't play disc golf, but basically the slower discs, and that's a lot of fun because it's very challenging to do that. Yeah.
Chris, thanks for always being here and
Yeah.
keeping us updated and keep up the good work, man. This commission really appreciates you and the group.
Yeah, absolutely.
Please
Well, I
know that.
appreciate all your help
Yeah.
and enthusiasm and support. So
Great.
thank you.
Thank you, Chris.
Yeah, I think that Youth Challenge Academy partnership will save you guys a ton of weekends.
A ton.
Just be more strategic, yeah. Yep.
Kind of. Contractors, stores and things, and you can kind of stand our net. Yeah, I agree.
Future disc golfers in that group.
There you go.
Yeah.
There you go.
That Vic both brought up is that maybe we can encourage them afterwards sometime.
Even create an event for them, yeah, a reward.
You know, you know, doing it around or teaching them how to play. That's been great idea. I love that.
Yep.
Yeah.
Good stuff. Cool.
Yeah.
All right, next up, we have the Haddon Park ribbon cutting ceremony, this Friday at 1 o'clock. Is that anything else you want to put out on that?
Well, I was gonna say all sorts of great things, but I don't know if we can tell if there's anybody in TV land out there. Cause this is like, I don't know if I should share anything today or since we have no. That's us.
You,
Yeah, that's us.
Hmm.
That's me. Um, yeah, so I was just gonna share a couple things. Share the flyer this Friday at 1 o'clock, if you hadn't heard. We're excited about it. It'll be a fun time. We're gonna kind of set up a central area on the basketball court. We'll have our tent there. We'll have all of these fabulous items on display. We will have a video that we'll be showing that is a mix of video and photos between 2020 and 2026 of the restoration project. 2026, 2025. I keep saying 2026. Well, I think pros has got me missing 2025. I think pros caused me to totally miss a year. Everything's 2026 now, and now we're in the budget cycle, so it's 2026. Yeah, so I'll be emceeing it and do a little explanation of what Lulu Haddon Park is and where it's been and where it's gone to. Give obviously kudos to all of our partners in it, and so that's donors, but also volunteers that were out there on our build days, and staff. Obviously, we're going to have all of our park staffers, many as can be there just because they're a heavy part of what goes on at the park. And then the mayor's going to say some things. Then we'll do our ribbon cutting, but we're also going to have the summer playground program there. And so they'll do some parachute games, tug of war, just kind of some field type games with kids. We'll have music playing. Have some, I guess Little Debbie's is donating a bunch of Little Debbie's.
Cool.
So we'll have that there. Yeah. Found that out today. And then we'll have water and other things, but should be a fun environment. We definitely have seen a lot of action there. I'm assuming that as the newness wears off, it'll be more of a neighborhood park with some people that'll commute to it, but it's been extremely busy. Yeah, any time after the first part of the morning, it's basically packed all night long.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah, and good and bad, when the sidewalk went in on 15th or Lafayette? Lafayette. When it went on Lafayette, that cut off the ability to park on that side of the street. It's providing neighborhood access, but because it bumps out, there's not enough space to park on that side of the street. Although Friday we'll probably see it, I would assume. But yeah, no, excited about it. Obviously, we've had some hurdles to overcome, fireworks. So part of the hillside behind the playground is burnt up, but where there's that, you see an opportunity. Now we can put down landscaping and it's all cleared up and yeah, and that'll be the, yeah. So we were able to finally get power yesterday. That's been a month's battle
Yeah.
to try to get that
Yeah.
scheduled. And so with power, that provides us the ability to not have to manually turn on and off our irrigation system. So now it'll start getting watered on a regular cycle. So the turf area is going to be dry, and then we'll overseed or hydroseed this fall. And we may wait a little bit to plant our trees. We were trying to get them in before this, but with warm weather, it's probably best at this point to just wait. The biggest thing we needed was to get the playground open before school got out, and we did it the day before. Picnic tables we don't have for the shelter yet, so we've brought in some temporary seating from 4th Street. So there's something that people can utilize there, and actually I haven't been really getting any questions about it. I think people have been enjoying it. I don't think they realize that's temporary. But yeah, no, yeah, we're excited to move forward with this project, and Friday will be a fun day.
Do we have an ETA on the picnic tables?
So we have the legs and everything.
Okay.
The tops did not show up. And so there is a little bit of a confusion as to where the tops are
Okay.
and why we're claiming that we don't have the tops to the tables. I mean, I feel like that's not something we would just make up. Just so we have extra
How many are we talking
extra
about?
tops sitting around.
A couple?
3, 4.
Oh.
Oh, 2 parks. Yeah. Yeah. So three picnic tables for both park.
Wow.
And so we haven't been able to, we won't open either of those up for rentals at all this year, but
And a vendor we've used before, like.
yeah,
I was gonna
long
say,
time.
like, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Could you send a copy of that to me?
Sure. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. And we also have an event on our Facebook page. If anybody wants to share our event, feel free to do that, but I'll email the flyer out to the commission.
If you invited the council.
I have invited the chamber. They'll be there with their scissors and ribbon. But yeah, I can send it out to Jim. Okay.
Because
Yeah.
with the new restaurant there.
Oh, it's great. Yeah, I went to it for the first time about 3 weeks ago. I loved it. It was great. I was cutting through, well, I'm cutting through and on my way back from a meeting and it was awesome. Had a poke bowl, it was huge. Yeah.
Send it to the people. Yeah, to their, like,
Cool. That'd be great.
tell them
Yeah.
they should show up because it's just 2 blocks from there.
Right. Yeah. 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 I'll send it to you before I leave tonight. Is this when did we want to share the video now
Yeah, let's
about
do
it?
Great time.
From the beginning.
Yeah.
I want to see that. Oh, but-
Slow. I enjoyed the drinking fountain.
That old playground is garbage.
Yeah, again, it was a playground from the 80s
Yeah.
that was stored and then 10 years later put out.
That was.
Meeting, get to see this part of it.
No, yeah, I never saw any of this stuff.
For the irrigation control.
Yeah. Oh, really? Okay.
Wow.
Tear it down.
I was like, I said, did Carlos really need to
No.
put it up that high, or is that just for fun?
So,
Yeah, it is a cool site. I love that there's just a big open field still. Okay.
No.
The fields.
Had you done a playground build before?
I had not. That was my
Yeah.
first one that I've been able to make.
You're a firefighter.
Yeah. Oh man, that hillside got scorched pretty good.
It did, yeah, and luckily it
Yeah.
didn't get the trees right. I mean, it could have done a lot
Oh,
of
yeah,
damage.
it was horrible.
Didn't get into the bark, didn't get into the bark chips here. I mean, it got right up to that wall.
Oh man, scary.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Yes, and the new signs up. Yeah, yeah.
Stuff. All right. Friday at 1.
Friday at 1. There.
Any other commissioners have any other questions or comments on that? Exciting stuff.
Yeah, it is.
All right, next up, we have Ivy Green Cemetery fence replacement project.
Of course, I got rid of.
Well, it's complete.
Cool. Sweet.
When was that? When did we first receive this grant? Because it was supposed to go down. April, right?
Yeah, and then the Naval Avenue improvements, decided that they would replace the fence. We got the scope changed to 15. It's about the same distance. Yeah.
Yes,
We actually thought it was actually a little bit longer maybe. And we thought that the grant wasn't gonna be to pay for it. But Brian found us a really good price and we're actually under budget, so we don't spend the whole budget. Not everything.
yeah, plus the nice part too is that Public Works will cover the Naval Avenue side when they update that roadway and do their ped and bike improvements.
Which tree?
Yeah.
The trees along. Yeah.
Is there gonna be any kind of?
I don't know that there's gonna be room for trees there, but they said that they would remove it and replace that fence for it. That would work.
Maybe a planting somewhere else. To mitigate the damage. Be nice.
Yeah, we were looking at something potentially else on site somehow.
That way,
Yeah.
you know, yeah, wouldn't have a net loss.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
Can't be.
Yep.
yeah.
Yeah.
It is in our ordinance that for every tree we remove, replace it.
Yeah, yeah. And I would
So
be
that
down
is-
with,
Yeah, I'm sure that.
making us a tree city USA. Yeah, yeah.
So this new fence runs the entire length of the cemetery on 15th? Is that
This
accurate? Okay,
685 feet.
wow. Cool. Good deal. All right, commissioners have any questions or comments on that? Good stuff.
Good project.
Great.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Well, also, you did it's a great job. You guys came out under budget.
yeah,
You know, I mean,
amazing.
you gotta take a bit to congratulate and all that. Yeah.
Try to pay some attention to social media, and so there were some good posts when when the fencing was down of potential zombies being released from the cemetery. Pictures people were posting, it was pretty comical.
I think that age.
Yeah, yeah.
All right, next up, we have new business, and it's the pros plan chapter 1.
Okay, so
Introduction.
before I lead into chapter 1 and chapter 4, the good news is that we don't think it's going to take a whole lot of time for us to review it tonight. A lot. So we may be giving you some time back.
All right.
So a lot of what we did was just honestly general updates.
Excuse me.
General updates to the plan related to let me see if I can, there we go. So mission statement, we haven't really changed. Obviously the acknowledgements. It is kind of interesting to look at the acknowledgements from now versus 6 years ago
Yeah.
when the last plan was updated. I think we decided we had 2 council members that were on, the mayor was on, and was it all, Ben, were you here 6 years ago? Ben, I think, was the only one that was here 6 years ago from the commission, and even staff. Colette's the only staff member of the 4 staff member listed. So quite a bit of turnover in the last 6 years, since the last plan was updated. So like I said, a lot of that, a lot of what we've done, and we've tried to keep the same amount of page numbers just for simplicity. I think we have a couple spots where we may have to shift some page numbers a little bit throughout the entire book, but really nothing too major. Our obviously amount of land that we have hasn't changed. Our forested parkland, including the watershed property, hasn't changed. Our number of parks haven't changed. So a lot of these things are pieces that were just cleaned up and updated, but no real major changes.
What, is this your official job title?
Yeah, this is too.
Fancy.
Park preservation and development manager.
I mean,
I like it.
Right.
He was the associate director, vice president.
Okay.
I don't think I'd ever.
Yeah, we could add it to it.
I'm sorry. Director,
It's,
is
oh no,
this-
you're good.
Is this the date we're hoping to like?
No, no. Yeah,
Okay.
because that's the
Okay,
full
thank
6
you.
years. Most likely it'll be December 17th is
Okay.
my plan.
Cool.
Yeah, probably. If we say it, then it's true, right? We don't want to take 2 more years or 2 more months. So the economics and demographics, Colette, did you want to just kind of touch lightly on this? And this is general information that you had gone out and researched and then just updated to what we had there. Really, the text, the detail isn't a whole lot different. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, obviously, like population has changed, diversity's changed, and then the median income, poverty level, those types of things have all been adjusted relative to what today's numbers would be. Same with persons with disabilities, obviously identifying and understanding that 13%. We are at 15.5%, state's 13, and national average is 13.4, so we're a little bit above that. Not sure I'd call ourselves a retirement community, but we definitely have a little bit higher than the average mix. updated information related to the community involvement with the survey. So we had the 900 responses to 33 questions, took 11 to 12 minutes, and we had 662 additional written comments, which was awesome to have. And again, a lot of that information is going to be available in the appendix. So we just make reference to it throughout the chapters, but the extra material will be listed in the end. And then obviously the beginning of that second page there, to be updated, we'll note just kind of the updated information related to the plan and when it gets approved. So this is just all information that we really went through last week or last month and handed out to you. So these are just more of the key findings that we came up with. Again, all the responses to all the questions will be in the appendix. So you'll be able to go through and see what questions were asked and how the responses came back. But these were just some of the key takeaways from some of those questionnaires that we filled out. And then obviously individual themes. So, and I think I've told this group that we're now part of a council committee, which we hadn't been for a while. So we're part of the finance, parking, and investment. So now it's the most difficult part was to try to figure out what acronym. So it's PFIP. It's Parks, Finance, Investment, and Parking, which aligns us with Mike Riley and the finance department, which is important for us to be a part of that group because that's where our money comes from.
Yeah.
So we want to be tied to who manages the money.
Yeah.
And we have Jeff Coughlin, Jane Rebelowski, and Michael Goodnow are the three council members that are a part of that committee. So, and it's really nice because they meet every fourth Tuesday at 1:30. And so really what we talk about at this meeting, we just prep for that meeting, and that's our dry run. So that's why we're so polished at night for this meeting. Or something. Okay, so that's really the extent to that first section for the introduction. And any questions anybody has on that section?
Follow.
Okay.
I did.
Next
All right,
one.
chapter 4.
Yeah, next one is our needs analysis. Again, this is just kind of explaining to someone that's reading the plan what our level of service, what that term means, describing the amount of quality of parks and recreation facilities that are needed to serve the community at a desirable and measurable standard. And so we really try to adhere to a lot of the NRPA standards. And so that's kind of what we utilize as our comparison for that. I did not update, if you read through the packet ahead of time, I had some trouble going through NRPA metrics. I think a lot of this information is fairly similar on this page. Those are just showing what our standards are. I couldn't find the update of the comparables within the state for some reason. It didn't look like we had updated our metrics since the last time we input the PROS plan. And part of that might have been because we had a secondary account that was created. So I need to look at meshing those two, which it tells me that's an option, which means that's probably what's happened in our case. But again, it just kind of talks about what the level of service standards are, you know, as far as the park sizes, so neighborhood park and community park, what those tend to look like as far as acreage. And their service area within those areas. So we'd like to provide some updated, obviously, numbers for communities within the Washington area to be able to note there. Again, not a whole lot of changes here, things that we're gonna be doing in the next month, along with our capital plan and our 20-year facility plan is updating photos and then getting quotes from this current survey. Those are just kind of afterthoughts right now. We wanted to stick to the meat right now, and then we'll go back and identify where those needs are. Did you want to talk at all about the service area mapping?
So the level of service was determined, I think in 2020 or before 2020, it was before, probably 2014. That a community park serves anyone within a 2 to 5 mile radius, and a neighborhood park is, what is it again?
Half mile?
Yeah,
Yeah.
10-minute walk.
Yeah.
And so these two maps, this one is for our community park, so the area shaded is the 2 miles. So for NAD Park, for instance, the orange color is the 2 miles that's shaded, and then the orange line that's farther out is the 5 mile. So you can kind of see the areas that the park serve based on that criteria, that level of service. We know that like parks like Evergreen get used by people that live beyond that 5 mile radius.
Yeah,
It's a destination park, but
Sure.
that's kind of like the standard of what,
Yeah.
how we determine. So this map didn't change at all. This map did change or needs to be changed because Matten Park, which is right here, we were classifying it as a neighborhood park simply because there wasn't any other good alternative. Haddon hadn't been updated, and now that Haddon is updated and has more amenities, that really is a neighborhood park. And Matten, which doesn't have a restroom, it's like 0.3 acres, is more of a pocket park. So we are going to remove this from the map, but this is a map that's really difficult to edit, so it's an issue.
Yeah. Need some GIS help there. Then again, the 10-minute walk campaign was something NRPA championed in 2017 is a big concept that the mayor would like to utilize as a standard as well for the development in infill within our park system. Is that everyone should be within a 10-minute, essentially a 10-minute walk of a park.
Like 2.
Yeah.
I think this. And this is the part of the 10-minute walk campaign. They partnered with Trust for Public Land, which launched this program called Park Serve, which you can put in any city, and it will give you the data of where are the gaps within a city in terms of who's not living within a 10-minute walk of a park. And our last update, it said that we had 66% of people, of residents of Bremerton living within a 10-minute walk. It's actually increased now to 74%. We didn't gain more parkland, so I think it's just the distribution of the population where people are living. To make that difference. So yeah, now percent served is
74.4.
Cool.
Yeah.
That's great.
And obviously being located near parks is more of an ideal, so it makes a lot of sense and ties that in as far as where the residential development's occurring.
So the national average is 54%.
You'll see that, yeah.
And then this map is something that the program provides and tells you where you're lacking park space, and they acknowledge that this is what's phase 1 of the program. So phase 2 is going to get more detailed information about how things are being zoned. So you can see that they're saying that there's a high need for a park at the Puget Sound Shipyard, not recognizing that what that is.
Or that it may have its own internal system. Which there is a system of recreation and green space, yeah,
They're definitely.
on base,
That
but
saved the problem, we just filled the ground.
there we go, yeah, yeah. Perfect. Then this is one, is this the one we're removing? Yeah.
And it's really close. Essentially, it's East Bremerton is what.
Yeah.
East Bremerton and kind of west of this area.
Yep.
Is where, but East Bremerton is really the focus. Where we're lacking park space, but it's one of those things that are, the property line is so arbitrary, like LED right there, you know,
Yeah.
so it's kind of.
The MXI.
Yeah.
It's, the property line is really strange.
Yeah.
because, yeah, I know people on one side of Gary that have all the chickens that they want.
Yeah.
Like, you're like, are you in the city or what?
Yeah.
And
So this is
I'm
it.
stuck with my 5.
So the park metrics, yeah.
No roosters, 5 chickens.
So the park metrics is the one that I said that I need to get updated once I can get some of those comparables, but this will kind of tell you where we kind of lie overall. With it's about 900 to 1,000 other agencies across the country that have filled out this survey. But I wanted to also share with you some information. When the 2024 NRPA agency performance review came out, I sat with this and walked through our system, and so kind of did some handwritten analysis when this came out this winter. So so I'll just kind of go through with our population assumption of 45,450 as kind of our baseline. The average finding was that a city would have 2,386 residents per park. With the number of parks that we have, we're actually at 1,623 residents. So we have a higher number of parks for the amount of people that we have here. But on the flip side, and talking about some of our small parks that we have, acres of parkland per 1,000 residents. Nationwide, the average is 10.6. We're at about 6.42 acres. So even though we have more parks, our parks are smaller than the average. I didn't do the percentage of agencies offering summer camp programs is 83%. We don't because there are partner agencies within the community that do provide those. Some of these other numbers were kind of interesting. Full-time equivalent employees per 10,000 residents. 8.9 is the national average. We're at 4.2, which really explains our lack of the ability to regularly maintain parks and keep our parkland maintained, is because we're literally half the staffing. Where I was at previously, and 10,000 less residents, I had almost 10 more employees on my park side full-time than what we do here in Bremerton. So that's obviously something that we want to work towards. Percentage of full-time staff dedicated to operations and maintenance, national average is 46. Based on our staffing, it's 68 because we're again that it looks a little skewed, but that's because we really lack in the recreational programming side, and so it's going to show that maintenance and operations is much higher rate for us. Per capita, the national average is $99.40 per capita. We're at $76.30, so we're low on that end. Yeah. So that's just some of the, and that'll be some of these comparisons, some of that information that will be getting filled in. And then again, it further explains in this And since we've done the 2025 input, then we'll be able to get a very specific one for Bremerton once that next report comes out. But because we couldn't find the entry for 2024, it didn't cater it to us. So I just was able to print a generic version to do a comparison against. So yeah, so that'll be really nice and make sure that obviously you get copies of that when the 2025 survey is completed, as well as council. So then they have that, and then we'll obviously utilize these types of documents when we're going through the budgeting process. Just more of the comparisons. Again, these are just pages explaining how we classify each of our park segments. And I don't know if you've read through this yet, Colette. We talked about how we feel like identifying our houseless population is something that we need to really recognize in this one. As of right now, I've just noted it on the side as a park survey result. As far as the top 3 issues that were noted within our surveying is vandalism, cleanliness, and safety within parks. So that's, I think, something that's extremely important for us to consider. So that statement may stay like that, or it may get incorporated, and we may identify it differently else in another spot as well. But again, just kind of noting what's classified as a neighborhood park within here, and just kind of naming a few of those locations. Pocket parks, it's a little funny because we've discussed Pat Carey Vista as what do we do with it? I don't know if anybody caught it, but one of the Seattle TV channels last weekend shared a photo someone took of a sunset of a guy and a gal sitting at the park, and it was like their picture of the day. So it was kind of cool. Yeah, it was kind of cool. Saw it on social media. Is where I saw that. I was like, oh, that's actually was really awesome. Yeah, so just kind of further defining what each of our different classifications are within our park system. And then obviously our own rec facilities and partner programs, including Marvin Williams Center and YMCA and the Jarstead Complex. You see most of our pictures, we don't take pictures of faces unless, so this is AJ's husband and daughter. So we'll throw them in as marketing. Same thing with the video for Haddon. Those were friends of Colette's kids that we've got video of. So kind of fun to incorporate those in. Yeah, and just kind of a general summary of our level of service. So. Okay, any questions on chapter 4?
Survey results and the concern about our houseless residents.
Mm-hmm.
Are you thinking that, so I see it here is about calling that out more within the pros plan? Because it's a definite needs for our operations team.
Yeah,
I don't think it's going away.
right.
We want the public to understand that.
Yeah, I think
aware.
we're trying to figure out how is that best served in this guide? How is it best identified? Is it best identified as a challenge? Is that mine? I forgot that I highlighted them. I was like picking that up serious. Yeah, do we identify that as a future challenge or a current challenge or yeah, I think we've got a little time to figure it out, but I think yeah, how do we properly identify it in there? Because it's an important part of what we do. We've talked with Carlos and with our parks crew, who's our lead, and we could anticipate around 30% right now of the work within the parks is around those 3 issues. that were noted. Vandalism, safety, and yeah, the sanitation side of things. I mean, that's a huge reduction of time being able to be spent elsewhere. And it's great because a lot of that's in coordination with Common Streets, who the city's coordinated with to try to help get people housing and get them services. But at the same time, we're still the ones in there helping clean up and coordinating with them. It's great having the partners, but it's not taking a whole lot away from what we're doing.
Yeah.
Um,
It's important to note
mhm,
that the partners, but also that the problem's owned by all of us,
for sure.
you know, not
Yep.
just this department.
Yep, absolutely. Yep.
Cause it's like the 10-minute walk to the park, metric. That depends on the street department too.
Yep, it does. Yeah.
Otherwise, that's an ableist metric.
Yep. Yeah, the transportation. Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, we're not technically the creator of the transportation plan, but the transportation plan is has a huge effect on our ability to get to parks. Yeah.
So I appreciate how you work with the whole city, because it is a big community.
Yep.
We should put it in the. And this would be the perfect place to put it, and just like a little blurb, you know, how much time we spend.
Mhm.
I think it's
in
just
here, and
so
then it's-
important. Anecdotally, I will tell you,
Yeah.
I'm having conversations with people about, why isn't the park doing this and that and
Mhm.
and I just pause and say, let's talk about what they all do.
Mhm.
Is there things you're not thinking of? And one of them is everything that Brian's been illuminating to the commission over the last
Right.
year or so.
Mhm.
So I think it's important. And to your point, and I don't think it belongs here, but it is something the city needs to think about. What happens, a decision made in one place, like an anti-camping ordinance, has a direct impact on the park system. So when people who are unhoused move from one place, they, you know, and they're not going into shelters, there's gonna be an
Or
impact.
or
on parks.
even a great example is the rebuild of MLK.
Yeah.
Had a direct effect on Warren Avenue Park. Had a direct effect on us having to shut down the restrooms and keep those locked because of the issues we were coming across there.
And those are all things that we tried to minimize the
Yep.
best that we could. We collaborate with a lot of different divisions and departments, whether that's anywhere from Bremerton Police to Common Streets, streets, outreach, mental health services. I mean, we meet monthly, and then I'm also part of the county team that sits in as part of the monthly team. And these are all concerns that we have, and we talk amongst ourselves, different departments, different divisions, and see what we can do to help each other out and what the impacts are to somebody else. We kind of talk some of these situations through, especially when we have some larger events and things like that. So, yes, there
Yeah, I
are
look at
conversations
number
being
two,
had.
yeah. Extending and coordination is endless things they wouldn't even think of come up, like a renovation of a street.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Thank you.
Yeah.
Commissioners, got any other questions or comments on pros plan we've looked at tonight? All right, great stuff.
So just last thing I'll say on the pros plan is we're getting closer. Every month, we're taking a step closer, no matter how many hours we're in here. 3 hours or so. I think when I came on board, I said I would try to keep us to an hour, but I also didn't consider the fact that pros plan was going to be a major part of this year. So we're putting the hours in. Next month, we'll be talking about action plan and capital facility plan. So that's going to be a lot of work on our end in putting together that 6-year CIP and the 20-year project, identifying projects within the next 20 years. So we'll go through a pretty good review of that next month. Then really after that, and we're going to be working on getting quotes updated, photos updated. And the plan over that next month prior to September is we're going to be working on getting our final drafts together for each of the chapters so that we can get that out to this group. In a perfect world, we'll get all of that to you about 2 weeks ahead. But then in September, we have planned for the initial approval from the commission for the draft plan. Because then that'll allow us to then get those chapters online for public review and then get it to the Recreation Conservation Office for their review and for council to start reviewing before they dig into it in their public hearings in December on the 3rd and 17th is the plan there. So brought that up with the council members this afternoon in that meeting, so they're excited about that. So really, after we get the draft plan discussed in September, really October is going to any last minute updates. We can kind of talk a little bit if there's been some feedback, what kind of feedback there is. And then looking at our consideration of a November, December meeting. December 3rd will be the first public hearing, so we may want to look at that combined meeting being that first week in December. So, because we usually combine November, December, so that would be the day before the first council meeting that we'll discuss it. But yeah, maybe in October, we might talk about some potential commission roles in the public hearing process and some things the commission can do to help support the project with the city council and their approval in December. So it's a quick year, but I think we're getting there. So
We have the 60-day review process, so that's.
mhm.
We have to have a secret review.
Yep.
It's quick.
Yeah.
But again, as noted, we wanted to make sure that with this current city council, we were able to get it through because they've been the ones that have been on board. And we have up to 2 new council members, I think, and potential new mayor. So would like to have those that have been involved be a part of that decision process.
All right, commissioners' comments. Let's start with Commissioner Waterman.
Just thank you so much for all this work and what's coming. My gosh. So that's all I have to say. Yes, thank you so much.
Nice to see you back.
And yes, I'd love to do that.
All right, Commissioner Weigel. All right, Commissioner Dawson.
I saw the article in the Sun about Tawana State Park and the snack bar there.
see that.
Did you see that?
Pretty cool.
And they said that it was part of a statewide, and basically they're a food chef celebrity decided to open that up as a kind of a high-end seafood type of place. And but anyway, the state evidently is, and they're looking for revenue, and they're continuing to update services. That was one of the initiatives they did. They're doing that with other parks, and not necessarily that at high end, but they are trying to look at the snack sales stuff. That one had been closed for 11 years.
All time.
And so there was lots of work on that. One of the things that Tim had mentioned about Pendergast Park was putting in a pad for food trucks and things like that, which I thought was a great idea, But I also thought, what about attracting food trucks, at least on the short term, not permanently lodged there, but attracting food trucks to the other parks, that sort of thing, through some sort of permitting process where the parks can actually gather some fees from that and generate people that are interacting and getting tacos or something. So anyway, I like the Pendergast idea a lot. I know you're probably working on lots of stuff here, but I did like that a lot. But that just reminded me, why don't we put out a call for food trucks to park at all of our parks and have it short-term type of arrangements where we try them out.
So the city does have a process for that.
Okay,
And I'm not sure how long it's been in place. I had a couple groups reach out to me this year, coffee trucks.
yeah,
Didn't really ever hear back from them once I sent them to community development to get all of their permits in place. But it is probably something that we should advertise more.
Yeah.
Because, being involved on the commission, you probably didn't realize we had that
No.
process in place.
No.
So there is, and I think one thing on our side before we would do that is just to kind of talk through where do we, it's kind of almost like benches, where are our preferred locations? As opposed to someone picking out and we have 10 benches next to each other. What are our preferred locations for these and then market it that way?
yeah, and it'd be nice if the money went to the Parks Department.
For sure. Yeah, I'm working on some of that too. I would love to get to a point where like our shelter revenue goes back to a special revenue fund that this group can help control. And we can develop more shelters using that or putting amenities into our park system. But looking at an overall, I'd prefer to do the comparison of the overall city budget, where let's say our revenues are $60 million. $200,000 a year really is a drop in the bucket, but 200,000 to us means a lot.
Yeah.
And so if there was a way for us to pull that out of the general fund revenue and then be able to create this a separate account for the commission to be able to help decide annually how those funds get spent. It's worked before. I'll
Yeah.
tell you, I've done it elsewhere and it was great.
That'd be good.
It was great. Then we're not having to go to council for $50,000, for $75,000. We could use it as match for projects, but at least gives us something to work with to try to help put some resources back into our park system.
That'd be great.
Yeah.
And as far as food trucks, you can,
Yeah,
sorry,
very
I mean, those are actually, have broader benefit because they're
Right.
kind of business incubators.
Mhm.
They also can be an extension of an existing
Right.
brick and mortar business
Mhm.
where a restaurant wants to get into that. Similar to Crazy Arts always used to do it at the fair, you know,
Mhm.
and several Mexican restaurants also have their own food cart stuff. And it's just something that kind of benefits a whole lot of people
Right.
and might benefit the parks.
Yeah, well, even with the food trucks, I mean, if we're providing, let's say it's almost like an RV hookup for them at sites. I mean, we would need some of the revenue back to help pay for the power they're using.
Yeah.
So it would make sense that it comes back to us, but it's a revenue as well. But yeah, no, I think that's great. I think that'd be a great.
It makes going to the
Project
park
for the
fun,
commission
too,
to
because
look,
I
yep.
know when I go to Evergreen, I'll just go across to the.
Mhm.
Yep.
It's a very popular spot, yeah.
Or something too. Yeah, yeah, little guys, you name it, but you can let the market kind of decide what people want and stuff like that.
Mhm.
But we have to do the marketing to get people. And to get people to commit to go over any hurdles that they might have to do,
Mhm.
because these are small business owners.
Right. Yep.
All right, anything else, Mr. Dawson?
No, I think that was it. Thank you very much.
No, you're good. No, you're good. I actually have a couple things tonight myself. Brian, this is, first couple things I have are gonna be more up your alley here. I called Mr. Evans today about this, but I just wanted to give you a heads up. I was playing on P1 last night and second base is Brian, it's a little cockeyed. So I think the post that is put in the ground wasn't maybe installed correctly. So the base is sitting, it's cockeyed from the other bases.
Already,
Yeah.
yeah, it probably just got loosened.
Yep, maybe just got a little loose,
Too
so,
many people.
Yep.
sliding
yeah. Last week, we were down at Lions 1 and down the first baseline, there is a tree in halfway in the outfield. And that tree is it's encroaching on the field. So maybe if you could have your folks take a look at that, maybe do a little pruning on that, I would appreciate that would be great. There's some branches that are they're starting to come over the fence line a little bit. Yeah, they're just starting to come over the fence line a little bit. Yeah.
They're full of foliage this time of year, so they.
All the obstacles.
Yeah.
Aim for the
Um,
tree, you're good.
And then
Stay in play.
I just had a couple questions really for you, Director. I was wondering how in the boardwalk held up after the bridge blast. How'd we do?
Yeah,
Yeah.
it was a mess. Evergreen.
Was it packed down there?
Yeah.
Was it? Yeah.
Yeah, Evergreen, so Evergreen was a little bit of a different issue. It's the, how do we, not to generalize, but get teens to behave
Mm.
when they're dropped off for events. So we had a number of teen fights that occurred at Evergreen Park that night.
Wow.
Yeah, and it's kids that are just getting dropped off and
Yeah,
then picked up
yeah,
later
no
at some point
supervision. Yeah,
unsupervised and
yep.
just kind of doing whatever they want.
Dang.
But as
part
of that role,
yeah.
we also fit in on special events. We did talk to police and situations and had enough folks down there to manage it.
Yeah. Okay.
But yeah, we had staff obviously on that night and it was busy.
Good.
Yeah, it was busy.
All right, I got one more thing. Actually, meant to bring this up a couple months ago. Are the lights in the Pendergast parking lot, are those like ones you can control from like your computer, similar to the lights at the field? Do you happen to know that?
So I think I can. I haven't tried
Okay.
that yet.
My one request, the whole reason I bring it up, early in the softball season, when it's still getting dark relatively early,
Might be
those
time
lights
for
are
it,
not on.
Yeah.
And
Correct.
so when we're leaving, it's dark in that
Yeah,
parking
so we've
lot.
had quite a bit of wiring issues up there
Mm.
and some of the bulbs are out and we're looking at that.
Okay,
And so we're looking into
okay,
put back together.
perfect.
Yeah, I'm trying to think if those were normally on.
General
If they come
photo cell.
And it could be.
Oh, I'm
a
sorry, that
timing
makes me
issue.
think of one more thing. When I'm pulling into Pendergast, I go past that, right before, I'm sorry, get ahead of myself here. There was a bunch of like, foliage, like
Yep.
pot, is that from Kitsap? Was that stuff
That's
from
from
Kitsap
Kitsap
Lake?
Lake.
Okay,
As a matter of
that's
fact,
what
that's
exactly
in
what I thought it
progress.
was.
This last week.
Yes,
Yeah.
I was there yesterday for my game and I saw it up there and,
Yeah, it's just
My-
bigger than stockpile.
yeah. Cool. I figured that's exactly what it was. Cool. Makes sense to me. Perfect. That's all I had. Thank you. All right, meeting adjourned. Thank you, guys.
Adults should never slap